Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, Vaughn, why are you sitting on the floor? To that I say, floor gang for life. Second off, what is the set of mysterious packages next to you? Well, I have an answer for you. So recently I finished building my gaming computer, and that has probably taken over a month and a lot of upgrades that weren't probably necessary. But I kind of got hooked. But let's say that you're on a budget, right? And you only have a finite amount of cash, and you're not willing to spend more than like $100 on a gaming PC. Well, I have the answer for you. So today, we're gonna build a gaming computer using a Raspberry Pi. Now, let me tell you, this project is gonna be magnifique. So let's do a live unboxing. Right here, a 4GB Raspberry Pi. Now, what else do I have in this box? We have the New Ice Tower Cooler. This is gonna keep your Raspberry Pi nice and chilly when it's getting that 120 frames per second. We got the NTH1 thermal paste. You know why. And then just a package of micro HDMI to HDMI adapters, because the Raspberry Pi runs on micro HDMI instead of HDMI. Right, and we'll have a segue now. Right, so what we have here is the Raspberry Pi Computer 4. Let's do the live unboxing. Here it is in all of its glory. Cool. Set that here. Next up, what we're gonna use for some thermal. Ooh. About to be an ASMR channel. Nice. Is there an applicator tool? Alright, there is not. So cool, we got that. We have the New Ice Tower Cooler. And how do you open this? Gotcha. Money shot. Alright, here's a pamphlet. Probably not gonna need that. Seems pretty... Wow, this thing is adorable. Look how small that is. Wow. That is quite a looker. We have the mounting bracket, and I think this is a plate that we can put on our Raspberry Pi as a base, and here are some standoffs. Oh, they provide a nice screwdriver. That's cool. And then our final thing that we will need, not for the physical hardware, but for the software, is an micro SD card. And we have to flash Raspbian on it, or Raspberry Pi OS as it's called now. Alright, so setting up the Raspberry Pi is actually pretty easy. First thing we need to do is apply a small pea-size layer of thermal paste onto our CPU. And I know that's a very controversial topic in the computer building community, but that's just what I'm going with. Our next step is to attach the mounting brackets onto our CPU cooler, as well as the standoffs on the Raspberry Pi, so we can put the CPU cooler on it. An optional step is to attach the acrylic plate backing onto the standoffs. Now, thermal pads are actually provided in the CPU cooler box, but I chose to go with thermal paste for better performance. Next, you're going to attach your female jumper cables to pins 2 and 6 on your Raspberry Pi. So those are the outer 2 pins. Now, our final step is to actually flash Raspberry Pi OS onto our Raspberry Pi micro SD card. Once again, the process is actually pretty simple. All we need to do is download the Raspberry Pi OS image off of raspberrypi.org, and then we need to use Etcher to flash the Raspberry Pi SD card with our image OS. Now with all that complete, we can insert the SD card, plug in a 15-watt USB, and watch our Raspberry Pi light up. now that that sick B-roll is over, we're gonna actually boot into our Raspberry Pi OS. Don't worry if you see this boot screen at first. Basically, we're gonna go through the setup process and make sure that we get those updates in. Once you are logged in, you just need to do sudo apt update and sudo dist upgrade in order to ensure that everything's up to date on your Raspberry Pi. Luckily, we are in Linux, so all we need to do is type sudo install steamlink into our terminal, and boom, we're done. Now, once we're finally in the Steam Link, all we need to do is enter the code we're given into our computer, and we can finally play games off of Steam Link on our Raspberry Pi. Now, I know this technically isn't the solution that you're getting a native sort of gameplay, but the Raspberry Pi goes as low as $35, and I think from what you're getting, it's definitely worth its value. If you wanted an actual gaming computer, you would probably need to fork over well over hundreds of dollars, even on the used market. So I'd recommend a Raspberry Pi and using Steam Link. You can also borrow one from a Steam account from a friend if you'd really like to. There are basically a lot of options. But if you are in the market for just the normal games, the Raspberry Pi has a lot of good options. Thanks for watching, and I hope your build goes well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And this video was brought to you by